Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are playing one of my favorite games, definitely one of Stephen Vick's favorite games, and that is Power Grid, which is arguably one of the more challenging, weightier games that we've played on this channel before. In this game, you're getting these power plants, you're getting resources in which to fuel them. Some of them, like number 13 here, don't even need fuel because they're ecologically friendly. But this is a blast of a game. It's one that I've played more times than a lot of other games, especially when it comes to weightier games. It's one that constantly comes out to the table and it's just a lot of fun to see how you can build your power stations and really expand across the map here. It's a great game. Like I said, it's one of my favorites. I really enjoy it and looking forward to you guys seeing it on the channel. But before that, let's get into a how to play. We're gonna get into how to set up, how to play, and how to win. Power Grid. So the first thing you need to set up is you need to pull out the map and lay it out. There are two different options in the base game. There is the map of the United States of America, and then there's also the map of Germany on the flip side. Today we're going to be teaching on the United States of America, because America. So first thing you need to do is everyone needs to pick a color. There are 6 different options in the game. Today I'll be teaching you how to play a 4-player game. So I've went ahead and picked yellow, red, sort of a burgundy, and then blue here. Those players also get 50 electro, which you can get in any sort of denomination you want to. Give them 50 if you want to. You'll break it immediately. But I went ahead and just gave them 5 sets of 10. It's like Monopoly money, but they call it electro in this game. Also, once everyone's picked their colors, you will take one of their houses and you will put it up there in that corner, and then one of them in that corner as well. This bar up here, is to indicate how many buildings you've built on the map. So that one will move as you build places. This one up here is to determine turn order. So whoever is in the first spot is going first. Makes sense? Makes sense. Moving on. Also, you have resources here. There are 4 resources in the game. 5 if you count the ones that are ecological power plants that don't need any resources. However, there are 4 that have actual pieces on the game. These little brown squares are coal. The looks like a tankard of oil. Guess what? It's oil. Then you have the yellow ones, which are garbage. And then the red ones, which are uranium. So, in order to set up the game board, you're going to fill up coal all the way, putting 1 square on each of these on the 8 all the way down to the 1. And then for oil, you're going to do from 3 all the way to 8, putting 3 on each of them. And if you get confused, you can look at the symbols underneath it, and it tells you how many goes in each dollar value, or electro value. Trash you'll put 3 and 7 and 3 and 8. And then uranium, you're going to put 1 in 14 and 1 in 16. That is the same no matter the player counts. That's just how you set up the game, like so. Next thing, you need to set up your power plants. There are a lot of power plants in the game. However, what you're going to do is you're going to set up the current market and the future market like thus. So 3 through 6 goes on the top in ascending order, and then 7 through 10 on the bottom in ascending order. On the top of this, you're going to put the number 13, which is an ecological power plant. And then on the bottom of this stack, you are going to put what is a phase 3 marker. Everything else just needs to be shuffled before you put that one on top and the phase 3 marker on bottom. You are ready to rock and roll. Not too complicated a setup, just a lot of moving pieces to move around. So, one thing that everyone will probably need are one of these cheat sheets. These are very helpful for the game. It tells you the turn order of everything, and also tells you how much money you're going to get depending on how many power plants you can actually supply power to. We're going to jump into each step and go on one at a time. There are 5 steps. Some of these steps have substeps, but first thing you're going to do is determine turn order. In the first round, all you're going to do is take up one of these and you're just going to drop them. You can choose to roll a dice if you'd like. But that is how you typically determine turn order, is just by dropping them. So that would be blue going first, purple, yellow, and then red. You would put those in order up top. Once you determine turn order, next thing you're doing is buy power plants. The way power plants work is it's an auction. The top row is your current market. These are the things that you can buy. This is your future market, so you can see what's coming down the line. However, it's not been discovered yet. So, whoever is, and it says on the card, whoever is the first player begins. So blue will pick one and they will try to bid on it. So they can look at these different symbols and take different things from them. Any of them that have a barrel like this means they take oil to supply them. Any of these that have looks like a lump of coal, that's a lump of coal. Any of these that have like double symbols like this, you can use either or. So they're a bit more versatile in that way. Any of these have a trash can, use trash. Some of these have uranium, which look like that, and they take uranium. And then some of them are either green or blue, and they have nothing going into a house, and that means they are ecological. They don't need any resources for them. Blue is going to pick one. They're going to pick, let's say, 5. They bid on 5. They say 5. Then it goes to an auction going around. Everyone can increase the vote if they want to. However, once everything is settled, once you pass, you are out of the bidding for that round. And then whoever is left has to pay whatever they've bid it up to. This is the minimum bid that you can put on any power plant. So for instance, this one, minimum of 5. You would have to start with at least that. So the bidding goes around. Finally, someone settles up for 8. They take their electro, and they break that down and sell it in. So one person gets 5. Then once that happens, these all slide up and another card is flipped, which you knew was going to be the 13. Once that's done and everyone has picked up a power plant, then we move on to the next phase. One thing you have to do only on the first round is you have to reorganize the turn order based off the power of the power plants. So blue has the highest one, so they would go first. Next one would be 7, so that would be red, who would go second. Next would be burgundy, who has 6, and last would be yellow, who has 5. So the next thing is the resources phase, and you're going to start with whoever's in last, which is yellow in this case, and yellow is going to buy resources. Now they need coal/oil. However, they're going to probably take coal because it is cheaper. They can have up to double the occupancy that's on this power plant. So it takes 2 to fuel. However, if they can store up to 4. So you're going to go ahead and take 4 because it's cheap right now. So that's going to cost them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They would take 5 out of their money and pay it into the bank. Next up is burgundy, which needs trash. They are going to do the same thing. They're going to buy 2, and they're going to go ahead and store it here. That makes $14 that they're going to pay out because the cost for one of those is 7. Next thing is you're going to look at red, who is here. They need oil. However, they need 3 oil, so they're probably just going to buy 3 oil, which is a total of 9 costs to them. Last one is blue here, who needs oil. They're going to go ahead and buy just 1 because they're trying to save their money, and it'll cost them a total of 4. Once everyone is done buying raw materials, we move into the next phase, which is building. And it starts with whoever is in last place, which still is yellow. So yellow, now we're looking at the board. We're going to establish 4 locations that these guys are going to play in. You can technically do it with more if you want. The game advises you choose 1 section per player. So in order to be fair to everyone, we're going to choose this yellow area, brown area, green area, and red area. So this purple and blue area, turquoise area, are going to be knocked out of the game and not used. So we're going to start with them. They're going to choose a place to build. The cost of building at a location is on the location itself. This game consists of 3 phases. In phase 1, locations only cost $10. In phase 2 of the game, cost is 15 electro. In phase 3, it's 20 electro. However, once you've built your first one, you need to pay connection costs to build your next one. So for instance, if you built, let's say they built in St. Louis, they would pay $10. However, if they wanted to build in Chicago, they would have to pay 10 plus 10. 10 for the cost of the location and 10 for the connection costs. So they would pay $20, 20 electro to build this. Once someone has built on a city, no one else can build on that city until we reach phase 2. Then someone can build on the city for 15 electro. plus any sort of connection costs. Also, let's say Red was building in Memphis, and they wanted to build also in, let's say, Detroit. They would have to pay every single connection cost all the way to connect those two cities. So from there, taking the cheapest route possible, they would take 7, 10, and 7. So that makes a total of 24 plus 10 to make 34 in order to build in Detroit. Now that everyone has built, and you can build as much as you want. However, you're only going to get points for how much you can power on each round, which is what these symbols on the bottom of the power plants mean. So if you have all the resources on this 7 power plant here, if you have 3 oil, you can power 2 cities. If you have 1 trash, you can power 1 building. You cannot use a power plant to do the same thing twice on a turn. Any extra resources you have will just be stored for a future round. Once everyone is done building, then you move into the final turn, which is called bureaucracy. Bureaucracy says get money, which the first part, all you're going to do is you're going to take your resources and trade them in for the electro that they power. Right now, everyone only has 1 power plant. However, in future rounds, you can have up to 3. So if you have all the resources for all of those, you can add those numbers together and see how many places you can actually power. Also, whenever you buy a city, you move up on this turn marker to see how many you can power. So red now slides to 2, blue slides to 2, and yellow and burgundy slide to 1. For bureaucracy, you're going to trade in your resources, and whichever order doesn't matter. We typically go in whoever's in first and go forward. So blue's going to trade in 1 oil, which goes to the greater supply over here, and they power as many power plants as it leads to, which is 1 in this instance. So blue is able to, they have 2 total, but they're only able to power 1. On the flip side of this card, it shows you how many money you will get for powering that many. So since they have 1, they get a total of $22 from the bank. And that's how you get money back in this. Moves on to the next player, which will be red. They're able to power 2. They trade in all their resources to supply. And since they are able to power 2, they get a total of 33 money granted to them. They can only power 1, they get 22 as well. And the last person over here, yellow, is able to power 1 as well, and they get 22 as well. Once all of that is done, then you look into the next part, which deals with the power plants. In phase 1 and 2, you place the highest power plant under the stack, so 39 goes away and is replaced by another one, 50, which is the highest and will not be hanging around long. And then we go into the last part, which is restocking raw materials. In order to know how many raw materials come into the market, you look at the back part of your instruction manual. There it says the step number and the number of players and how many of each comes in. So in a 4-player game, we get 5 coal, 3 oil, 2 garbage, and 1 uranium. That is a total of 1 round in this game. Things move pretty quickly once everyone kind of has a feel for the game. But people will continue to buy more power plants. Like I said, they can have up to 3. And people will continue to buy more places on the board. A couple things to know. Once someone has built more cities or equal to cities that match one of the power plants, you can technically remove that power plant from the game. Every time you remove a power plant, you draw 1 to replace it. Also, phase 2 begins in this game once someone has reached 7 total cities on the board. Once that happens, you remove the lowest one, whatever that is. You remove the lowest powered power plant, throw it out of the game, which there's a lot of different rules about when that might be triggered in the game. So make sure you look in your rule book to see exactly what happens depending on where you are in the game. The only differences between phase 1 and phase 2 is that the secondary location at a city is now opened. So now people can build onto a city next to them and pay $15. This continues until phase 3 has happened. And phase 3 happens once you get to the bottom of the card deck, the power plant deck, and you draw this phase 3 card. Once that is drawn, then the game changes. Everything is available on the market after that, and the market goes down to just 6 cards. The only thing it changes when it comes to step 3 is that now you can build in a location, but it costs connection costs plus 20. So if Red wanted to build into St. Louis, it would cost him 7 plus 20, 27. The game comes to an end once someone has reached 17 buildings on the map. Once someone has reached 17 buildings, then the game ends after that whole round is over. However, at that point, it becomes how many can you power, not how many cities you have. If you have 17 cities out there but can only power 12, you only are able to power 12 complete cities. However, if someone else, let's say they only have 15 buildings and they can power all 15, they would be the winner. The winner is who can power them, who has the most buildings and can power them all. So you'll keep playing, you'll keep going around and round until finally someone has reached that 17th building, and that triggers the end game. It's a heavy strategy game, but it's a lot of fun, and it's one that my family and I have enjoyed playing over the years, and I hope you enjoy it too. If you have any more questions, feel free to sound out in the comment section below. There are a lot of like complicated if-ands sort of things, way too long for this video, but any questions that you might have about the game itself, please sound off in the comment section below, and we'll be glad to help you. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Please comment, subscribe, and share. And we'll catch you next time, because that's the way we roll. 13. Lucky?